It doesn't make the ones that still have, that are still without, doesn't make it any better, but they have been great strides that have made. Village of Tangipahoa got their generator installed and got online at their city hall this morning. Another win. I will tell you that, just like President Miller said, we are requesting and pushing to get more FEMA assistance into Tangipahoa Parish. The ones that are here are working hard, but there's not near enough. And so we're pushing hard every day to make them send more people to help to help our citizens out, to get registered, to get money in hands, and to get everything that you guys need to help to recover. Because one of the problems that we have is that we're told now that that the disaster recovery center, which we've already asked for, that we're still 30 days away. So it's going to take 30 days to set up. We're not accepting that. That's unacceptable. So we're asking them to shorten that timeline. Propane. Propane is still an issue in our rural areas, but distributors all of the distributors that normally distribute within Tangipahoa Parish are making deliveries. They are trying to triage between the elderly patients who have medical special needs, such as oxygen concentrators, peg tube feedings, those type of things. And so they're trying, so be patient. But all of them are delivering. Another win is that power was restored to the bulk plant at Kentwood. So now those distributors don't have to go outside of the parish and outside of the state in order to fill their trucks up. Huge win. So that is going to help get the propane issue under control faster. Can I express enough that if there's any unmet needs throughout the parish, to please call our Emergency Operations Center, 985-748-3211. All of those requesting to come into the EOC. Now, I will tell you, as for the citizenry, it does not circumvent your normal company's protocols when it comes to, if do not call the Emergency Operations Center with utility restoration questions such as power and what have you. You need to call your electricity provider to be able to get that information. So right now we have one mobile registration intake center. It is in Hammond today. Today is its third day. Tomorrow it will come to Amite, and it will be in Amite for 3 days. So it's in Hammond today. It's their third day. Tomorrow it will be in Amite, and it will go through the weekend, and then it will swap back and forth until, and like I said, we are pushing FEMA to get more of those open and to get our disaster resource center open. Where 95% of our parish roads are passable. We only have 2 state roads that are closed right now, and that's Highway 1053 and Highway 1065. One thing that I would ask is that if you are coming into Tangipahoa Parish and with a nonprofit organization to help, we're so happy that you're here. Our citizens need everything that you can provide. But what we do ask is that you call our Emergency Operations Center and tell us where you're going to set up and what you're doing. Because what it is our law enforcement has to make allocations of their resources to make sure that you're safe, make sure that our citizens, make sure that you have good traffic control that is available. And the only way that we can do that is if you go through the Emergency Operations Center and through your local municipality that you're going to be operating in. We had some problems earlier today, and we're trying to mitigate that. It would really help us. Please don't let that deter you from coming. We're very happy that you're here, and we need the resources that you have for our citizens, but we just need to do it smart. So debris pickup began Monday, okay, and it continues every day. I think we have it negotiated now for 3 full pushes. It's not a fast process, but I can tell you that right now we have 3 disposal sites in operation. 478 loads have been delivered to those sites. There's 75 debris pickup trucks running in the parish right now. But let me give you a number. There's an estimated 1.5 million cubic yards of vegetative debris that have to be picked up in Tangipahoa Parish. That is monumental. So it's going to take a while, but it will happen. Just be patient, please. Debris picked up on Monday, and it will just continue. Now, one thing I would ask the citizenry, when you are piling up your debris, when you're pushing it into the right-of-way, couple of things. One, do not pile your debris up around gas meters, communications risers, any of those things that you have in your yard, because what it's going to do is that excavator or whatever that equipment is, it's going to pick up that debris. It's going to break those lines. So now your communications is cut, and it may cut the communications to not just your home, but multiples. And we don't want to create the problems with gas meters, and then you have a gas leak, everything shuts down, and it just delays everything. So let's just do it right, making sure. Now, we'll tell you that debris can go on the right-of-way. It can go a little bit past the ditch, but the debris has to be able to be reached by the excavator arm to be able to reach out and get that. Our debris contractors are not allowed and will not go on your private property. They have to be on the road, but they can reach over and grab it. Just make sure that it's close enough to where an excavator arm can get it. So as of yesterday afternoon, a total out of that 1.5 million cubic yards to be picked up, 23,060 cubic yards of debris have been picked up. Some more wins. Verizon Wireless has a mobile cell site with Wi-Fi and charging stations available at Seekers Point Church in Hammond. AT&T charging stations are available at Beatico Baptist Church, Ponchatoula City Hall, and the Roseland City Hall. Now, I will tell you that the drive-through pods at the Hammond and Ponchatoula area Walmarts will close as of 6 p.m. tomorrow. So with all the infrastructure that has come online, the grocery stores, gas stations, all of those, in those areas, those pods will close after tomorrow. So they're going to run through today, run through tomorrow, and then they go away. So so now there's all those grocery stores in order to be able to get those. Also at close of business tomorrow, the smaller pod at Roseland will also close. We will still have the ones operating in Kentwood, Independence, the Village of Tangipahoa, Laranja, White Seafood, Champ Cooper, Tickfaw, and Wilmer. As power comes available, we are assessing those sites every day. If power and resources are available to those citizens there, then we will shut those smaller pods down. But like I said, we're evaluating those every day. Not going to address schools because Ms. Stilley is going to do that. I will tell you that the Emergency Operations Center is on 12-hour day shifts starting today and will run through Saturday. Will be closed on Sunday and resume normal operations of all Tangipahoa Parish government offices, including the Emergency Operations Center, on Monday from 8 to 4. In exception to the landfill is on extended hours, Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m., and on Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., and that will go until further notice. A parish curfew remains in effect in the unincorporated areas from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. And look, we get a lot of calls about that. Know that this is at the request of the Sheriff's Office and our municipal police officers, and it's for your safety. It's for your protection. It lets the law enforcement officers spot the bad actors that are in the neighborhoods, casing, trying to, there's been an uptick of generators being stolen and those kind of things. So we want to make sure, they want to make sure that you guys are safe. That's the purpose of the curfew. In addition to that, the city of Hammond has a curfew from 11 p.m. until 6 a.m. All waterways in Tangipahoa Parish they still remain closed to recreational traffic due to a massive amount of storm debris and unsafe operations. This does not affect the camp owners. It just affects the ones that are out just riding around looking, and that also helps with the spot bad actors in those areas where the camps have been damaged and destroyed, and to make sure that things aren't stolen. Burn ban remains in effect for Tangipahoa Parish, as well as a statewide burn ban for the 13 affected parishes. Like I said, there's a lot of wins that we're having. Things are coming up slowly but surely. Now's the time to just be nice to each other, help your neighbor out, and we're going to come back always stronger than we were before. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Brigadier General Sean Conroy for the Louisiana National Guard response.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Miller, Superintendent Stilley, elected officials, mayors, police chiefs, everybody who's welcomed myself and our team over the last 10 days or so. One of the things I emphasized in an earlier meeting today is that this is a response of neighbors helping neighbors. We see it here in Tangipahoa. I mean, I am your neighbor. You've welcomed me into the EOC. I'm living and working here, but you've fed me, and thank you very much for that opportunity over the last 10 days. On that same topic, I want you to know that there are soldiers and airmen here from North Carolina, Arkansas, Kentucky, Tennessee, Missouri, and Mississippi, and Alaska, which is quite a neighbor, somewhat across the court there, if you will. We have approximately 600 soldiers in Tangipahoa Parish at this time. We have assessed 670 miles of state roads. We've cleared 576 of them. We're calling that 100%. There's some, as you know, that are no longer or not currently passable. We've also cleared 3 facilities on behalf of the parish through web EOC requests. We have some continuing missions. We've got 11 pods or micropods out there, those points of distribution. There's the 2 big ones that are shutting down tomorrow, as well as 9 smaller ones spread throughout the parish, supporting the residents here. We will be running the regional support activity in Roseland for the time to come. We've got some other parishes in Louisiana, notably Southeast Louisiana, that have a need, and that's the place where we bring commodities in and push commodities out to those other parishes. Here at the EOC, we've got the government support team led by Lieutenant Colonel McClinton. We've got parish LNOs. We've got the senior military advisor, myself, and importantly, we've stood up 5 public safety support teams for requests from the police agencies here in the parish. Those are starting up, and they'll be running for at least the next week or so. Pending your questions, that's all my report at this time, and I guess I'll be followed by, I'll be followed by, I don't know who I'll be followed by, I'm sorry. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, General Conroy. All right, we'll be followed by Superintendent Melissa Stilley.
Good afternoon. While we're seeing, as said earlier, lots of daily progress being made across our parish, it is important for us to be sensitive to the struggles and the needs of our families, especially where our children are concerned. There are still many hard-hit areas facing a number of significant obstacles, and we want to return our students to school as quickly as possible. But first, of course, we've got to ensure that we can achieve the milestones necessary to reopen safely. As of today, I'm proud to say that all of our schools, all 32 schools in Tangipahoa Parish, have had their power restored. We are currently working to restock our coolers and freezers with food so that we can prepare meals for our students upon their return. And as earlier briefed, we have 95% of our parish roads are open to school buses and travel of our employees, and fuel seems to be much easier to come by these days. We are currently at 62% of our residents with power restored, and one of our thresholds was to be at least 80% power restored before starting our schools back. By this time next week, we will all expect to have our milestones met and to start reopening our schools on a staggered schedule. So on Wednesday, we will start with 10 schools on the north end of the parish, from Amite to Kentwood, followed soon by the next day mid-parish, which would be Laranja, Independence, Neesom, Midway, Natal-Benny, and then shortly after Hammond and Ponchatoula. This weekend, we will be announcing a more tentative schedule for our Hammond and Ponchatoula residents. Our school employees, our teachers, and other school-based staff should report on Tuesday for our North End schools to work, and our students will return on Wednesday. Please consider this announcement as your notice, which is well in advance of 48 hours. We want to give our people time to prepare for returning to school. We feel that this time next week we will be close to 100% of power being restored across this great parish. But if any student is unable to return to school because their home does not have power restored, please be assured that they will be excused, and we will work with their families that are impacted by the power issues. Please be assured that our students and their families are a top priority, not only today, but every day for us. Many of us have experienced the frustrations caused by the damage of Hurricane Ida, but it is our job to have a concrete plan to reopen our schools. And while we remain sensitive to our families and our community, I know there's some that are not quite ready to hear about schools opening, but we are ready, our schools are ready, our roads are ready, and I feel that the majority of our parents will be ready when their zone becomes ready at that time. And so I want to thank everyone here behind me and everyone out there that has helped make all of this possible, and we look forward to welcoming our students and our employees back starting on Wednesday with the North End schools only, from Amite to Kentwood, and then each day or so we'll fold in another set of schools until we get all of our students back at school. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dilley. Next, we'll have our council chair, Ms. Bridget Hyde.
Thank you, Dawson. On behalf of the council, I'd like to commend our parish president, Robbie Miller, and Dawson Primes on an amazing job that they have done through these last 11 days. Our parish employees are phenomenal. They've done an amazing job. Many of them are working outside of their normal capacity. We've had people pulled from other departments and been given new tasks to do, and they've all stepped up to the plate and done their job. All of our council members are working very hard. Many of those are still without power. Several of our councilmen had substantial damage to their homes. They're still taking phone calls from their constituents. They're still out there working and taking care of their people. Again, if you have needs, please call the EOC at 985-748-3211. I know, speaking for myself, and I'm sure the rest of the council, we want to hear from you, but we get so many calls during the day. We don't want your needs to get missed. So if you're calling the EOC, your need will be taken care of. It's not going to slip through the cracks. A lot of the questions that you have that you're asking to us can be answered on our Tangipahoa Parish government Facebook page. I encourage you to follow that. There are lots of announcements being put on there. You can also go to tangipahoaparish.gov and register for alerts. You can sign up to get text alerts. So please do that. I'd like to thank our businesses who have worked so hard to get open, gas stations, convenience stores, grocery stores. I'd just like to remind everybody, to be kind. Don't forget your neighbors. It's easy when your power comes on to forget that people just down the road are still living in the conditions that you were before you got your power. Let's show why we're the best parish in the state, and it's because of our people. Reach out if you know someone who's still without power. Offer to wash clothes for them, dry their clothes, let them come to your house. Don't forget about those linemen, the utility workers that are out there. Many of them are still sleeping in their trucks in the mall parking lots. If you have power and you're able to cook for them or bring snacks to them or cold water, you have no idea how much they appreciate that. The burn ban, I know it was mentioned earlier, but that's been a lot of my calls. People are calling me because their neighbors are burning, and we ask that you don't burn. It is a parish-wide burn ban, and It's taking time from our first responders to come out and put a fire out or ask you to put your fire out when they have other more pressing issues that they need to handle. There have been a lot of grass fires, and they're being started from people burning their debris. Please be courteous to these utility workers, to our National Guardsmen and the debris contractors. If they're coming down the road, get over, let them pass. Try to stay off the road if it's not necessary. A lot of people are getting angry because the road is closed. They're closing the road for your safety and their safety. So please just, watch out for those guys. They're here doing a job, and we want our power back on as soon as possible, and we don't want them hindered from doing what they're here to do. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for the reports. As you can see, we have a lot of great news to talk about. We know that there's folks who still need support and services, and we're going to work to do everything possible to make that happen. With that being said, I'll ask if there's any questions. Johnny?
Burn ban is, how's it enforced? Somebody called the sheriff's department?
Well, if it's outside, the law enforcement agency, whether it be a municipal or sheriff's offices, who you should call. The burn ban is in place too because of the idea that there's so much other debris that it could spread very quickly. And that's the real reason. I understand that people want to burn, but it's maybe easier they believe it's easier to burn it than to pull it up to the road. But it's just not safe right now. So whatever law enforcement agency is that you reside in. Correct. Yes, sir, they should.
Another question I had was, possibly, how much is that?
I got it right here. It's they estimate 1.5 million cubic yards. As of yesterday, it was 23,060 cubic yards. And the number of trucks on the road yesterday was 75. I presume it's more than that today. They're supposed to be adding more every day. Correct, right now.